Hello and welcome. My name's Dr. Tim Blower and I'm going to be presenting these short videos about the course here at the Department of Biosciences in Durham University. So in this first episode I'm going to consider the question, why do a biological sciences degree? And I think to answer that you have to think about what kind of problems are in the world that need tackling. And what does it mean to be a scientist? A scientist is someone who can help people through logical, systematic exploration of ideas. And using that approach, we can change the world, tackle all these problems. Now, a major one that we have to consider is the fact that as a result of coronavirus, I'm doing these videos instead of welcoming you to Durham and doing it live. Scientists have been essential in understanding that pathogen, understanding how to track it, how to handle it, and hopefully in future how to treat people and cure them of that disease. There are other examples out there. We know that bacteria are becoming increasingly antibiotic resistant. That's in the papers a lot. And there's actually been some recent alternative strategies to curing bacterial disease that have been in high profile cases. This young lady on the right was very ill at Great Ormond Street Hospital last year, and the prognosis was likely terminal. She had an infection of a bacterium called Mycobacterium abscessus. Now it just so happens that Graham Hatfull over in the States has a huge collection of bacteriophages. These are viruses that kill bacteria, and these bacteriophages could infect Mycobacterium abscessus. So whilst no antibiotics were working, this young lady was given a treatment of live viruses that killed off the bacteria, and now she's totally fine. She's doing her A-levels. That's because scientists have been able to understand different approaches to treating these diseases. How about another example? Climate change. This is Greenland in March 2020. Now it just so happens that usually the ice does melt, but usually it's about 2 months later. This happened way too early in the normal cycle of the year. There's clearly something going on with the environment that just is out of whack, and scientists need to be able to explain these differences to an audience, to get them on board, to get them invested, and then allow scientists to try and tackle these problems. As a population gets ever older and ever larger, we're going to have to feed everybody. So there are lots and lots of bioscientists out there trying to develop new types of crops and new types of crop management techniques to allow us to meet that food burden. Now, all the skills that you develop during a biological sciences degree, applying analytical skills, thinking critically, solving problems and communicating effectively to other scientists but also to non-scientists, these kinds of skills aren't just essential as a scientist, they're going to be important for any kind of professional career. So being a scientist for your degree opens up medical routes, consultancy routes, accountancy routes, law routes. Everything's available because it's these vital core skills. More than anything else, I think a scientist is important nowadays because there's so much disinformation and people claiming fake news, and we need to reinstill confidence that scientists are really trying their best to tackle some very large problems, and you can be a part of that. So in the department, we are a single department trying to cover all aspects of biology, and our research is divided into 4 areas, and there's more information obviously on our website. Now let me go through the 4 areas quite briefly for you. We have our ecology, evolution and environmental scientists. For instance, we have Professor Steve Willis, and he is tracking the changing migratory patterns of birds. We have Dr. Wayne Dawson, who is investigating invasive plant species and how they are spreading around the world as climate, local niche environments are changing. We have our molecular plant sciences grouping. Molecular plant sciences historically is very important at Durham, and scientists here were fundamental in the development of GM crops in the 80s, which I personally feel is a great thing because GM crops are going to be necessary as to feed our future populations. And so we have plant scientists understanding how to develop crops that are better resistant to extremes of temperature and can survive cold, or plants that can produce drug molecules in their seeds as an easy way to produce pills and treatments for people who can't necessarily get access to manufactured pharmaceuticals. The third sector is the animal cells and systems biologists. These folks look at eukaryotic models of, for instance, skin and liver and other tissues to understand how wounds are healed or how cancers develop. Stefan Szyborski, a professor here, has a spin-out company that produces artificial scaffolds on which to build new organs. The fourth sector is one of which I am a part, called Biomolecular Interactions, and we look at the very nitty-gritty, the atomic scale biochemistry of how proteins, nucleic acids, fats interact, and so how fundamental parts of the central dogma, that is DNA turning to RNA, being converted to protein. How does that work? How can we interfere with it to stop cancers, to stop antibacterial and to stop bacterial infections? And for instance, we have Professor Nigel Robinson, who's understanding the role of metals in regular bacterial biology, and we have Dr. Paul Denny, who's got a large network of researchers from Brazil to India to Durham, investigating new treatments for malaria and trypanosomes. Now, why is our research important for you when you're picking your degree? Well, it's because all of our research ties into what we teach. We go through a process of research-led teaching, and that's because it's been proven to increase student engagement and attainment if we give you something that's new, that we don't know, and say, can you please go and research that and find that out. We find that students get stuck in, rather than just having to learn out of a textbook again and again. Don't get me wrong, Year 1, most of Year 2 is going to be known information in textbooks and published papers, but by the time you get to the third year, you'll be tackling something brand new. We have a thriving research culture, and it seems that this works pretty well through various different offerings of projects in our fourth year courses or our third year courses. We offer literature reviews where every student has to write a 5,000 word review of current field with an expert from the faculty as their one-to-one advisor. And there are intensive training workshops where you get to learn techniques in microbiology or genomics or microscopy, or go on a field course to Scotland, or this is the more popular one, Kenya. Now this seems to work because lots of our postgraduate students were Durham undergraduates. They stay on because they like the environment. Students can also undertake vacation work in our labs, so our research allows you to expand beyond your degree. So there are summer studentship schemes available in the department, and there are other schemes available across the university, such as through the Biophysical Sciences Institute. One recent success is that one of our students, Jack Bolton, he actually won the prize for the best summer project, and it's likely his results will actually contribute to a published article. So hopefully you can see that what we do as researchers is essential in what we teach as academics and lecturers. And what we're trying to teach you is that scientists have a lot to offer in terms of solving scientific problems, but also just learning those analytical skills, whatever profession they want to go in. Thank you very much for listening.